Everyone's like, oh, look, here comes Pensy Joe bringing the Pennsylvania stuff because really test LED in the headlight, but we'll take this quite well by all. She's a regular combination. She's all that can Cheat at 10. Proceed to 15. Hey everybody, this is Pensy Joe back again, and today we're at the Johnson City Railroad Experience, otherwise formerly known as the George L. Carter Railroad Museum. It's also a train club where there's multiple different layouts of different scales and gauges that operate here. So without further ado, let's get started. Right now we're at the main area where you walk in if you're a guest coming to the museum. Up there you got the railroad map and you got the Clinchfield one over here. Now this museum is in Johnson City over at North Boone and King Street. And over here you got we're still unpacking. There's not a lot of stuff going on yet, but there's a lot of photos of locations, people, and all sorts of other stuff. This is where some of the gift shop's going to be up front as well as some northeastern Tennessee memorabilia and paintings and stuff. And then here is where we start going into the museum. There's going to be a little place to sit down and watch a movie about the museum and about the railroads that service this town of Johnson City. Johnson City had about 3 or 4 railroads serving it. You got before in modern day railroads and the mergers, you had the Clinchfield Railroad, which was a coal railroad that would serve in Appalachia. And there is the Southern Railway that would come around here. And there was a Tweetsie Road, which is a narrow gauge, 3-foot gauge railroad that went from here all the way to Cranberry and Boone, North Carolina. Here's some photos. Here's some more photos of Clinchfield or Clinchfield memorabilia. Some more stuff, some photos, paintings. There's you got 611 on that little Johnson City Press, the newspaper plaque. And there's the Johnson City General Plan back there. We can zoom in just a bit. It's pretty cool stuff right there. State of Tennessee. Looks like a bond of some sort. And over here, you got some more number boards and stuff. And over here's where we're going to have like a little train simulator, which is pretty cool. Based off of that new NS Heritage Paint Scheme. This is our N-scale layout that we're still working on. I was helping a former member here a while back, since February, trying to get this thing back together, and it's getting there. It is definitely getting there. There's so many details and stuff. This layout used to be in somebody's house in Knoxville. They had to put it in pieces to bring it to the East Tennessee State University in Johnson City to be put in one of the buildings as part of the museum. And then they had to take it apart last year and bring it back here, and I helped them figure out how to put it back together and help them get it running and wired. It's all DC, this layout, so everything's DC. There's a couple of loops. There's inner main and outer main. You can't really do DC ops on here. You can't really run a lot of modern trains on here, mostly like Bachmann or like 4-axle Catos can run on this layout. A lot of the 6-axles don't really like the curves on this layout, so maybe one day they might do a redesign where it's easier to run almost anything in N scale. None of the steam engines particularly work super well either, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. You can only work with what you get. This guy took a couple of years to build this, from what I understand. Right here, this used to be a taller mountain, but they're redoing it, and I see there's a lot of paint being done, so we're getting close to getting this done. There's some more trees and details over here, some of the workbenches. There's going to be a little like trolley subway station over here. There's 2 trolley lines at Circle of City over here. 2 trolley lines that go around here. And then the 2 main lines, and then the trolley way over there in the other city. And this is supposed to be Knoxville over here, this whole town. It's a really neat little N-scale layout. It's more like kind of designed like those Lionel layouts where you just want trains to run, not so much as operations, but you know, it is what it is. This is one of the back sides, so it's people are gonna be able to walk behind her. So I figured, why not have something that's like mid to western Tennessee, where we're getting further away from the hills and more into the Great Plains. There's another town that's back here, a small town with an L&N diesel parked over there. And there's a coal mine over here in N-scale. There's a beautiful mountain. Personally, I think it needs more trees. And they got this plexiglass set up so people don't mess with it. They're still working on it. They're working their way around to get plexiglass. And here's some of the displays. There's some railroad memorabilia and stuff, some old locks, small hand tools, some badges and stuff, coins, Litchfield Railroad stuff. Pretty cool stuff right here. Some dinner plate stuff, silverware from multiple railroads. Pretty cool stuff. New York Central. That's pretty cool. That's a cigar tray. Pretty cool. Some more stuff. Tail marker lights, maybe for a passenger train and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Some more tools and some conductor and train master tools and hats as well. Pretty cool stuff. There's a lot of New York Central stuff, and there's a Santa Fe one, and there's a Southern hat. There's a Pennsylvania Railroad first aid kit. That's pretty cool. Norfolk and Western mug. And I'm not sure what that is. Norfolk and Western Railway cigar or cigarette tray. Pretty cool stuff right there. And then over here we got some of the N-scale buildings on display, as you can see. Some more cars as well before they get put back on the layout for being used. Here's some modules that people made. This is a pretty cool station. That's in Kentucky. Somebody made a model of that station. Really cool. It would be nice to see on a layout. There's a coal tower. Somebody made like a hobo house with a boxcar for G scale. It's pretty cool. And then we got a blue comet. So, one of the club members brought in the display as well. So that's pretty cool that the club members get to do stuff like that. Here's some like old pulleys that would be in like these pulley flywheels that would be on the inside one of those warehouses or like some of the facilities that would be around in Johnson City for the locomotive works and the other places as well. They would have a huge like leather, beltway that would connect all these together to power different machinery. And here's like the East Tennessee Railway office where it has some phones, some desks. That desk is pretty original. It's right around 100 years old. Same with the chair. Some more stuff right there. There's one of the 10-wheelers at the Tweets. He had a photo of it, number 10. There's some more stuff right here. There's a whistle up there. There's a flag for one of the switches. More tools and toolboxes. Pretty cool stuff. One of those old green jade lamps. Green chair, filing cabinets, typewriter. Pretty cool stuff. East Tennessee. Yeah, there's a Tweetsy poster. It would be cool to have one of those like 1800s locomotives, but I'm not sure if Tweetsie had that many. But yeah, it shows that they've been 100 years in service since 1857, so they would have some like old school steam engines. So that would be cool. Speaking of Tweetsie, we'll get there in a bit. Here's some more stuff right here. Here's one of the drive wheel tires for the 10-wheelers that the Tweetsie had. There's a spare one. It's pretty cool. Some door, a big door right there. And I don't know what that is. A can. Some more signage. And some more tools. They use even some like minecart wheels or something like that. Pretty cool. Some buckets. Other tools, and there's a tool chest. That pretty much sums up the main area you're going to be looking at. And then when you walk through past the theater, here's the East Tennessee and Western North Carolina Tweetsie layout. This is pretty much to represent the railroad that would come to Johnson City. And right here, that's going to be built over time, is going to be Johnson City. This is pretty much where it'll be dual gauge a lot in this area, as well as they're going to have the Southern Railway come in. I would like to see a little bit of Clinchfield on the other side, but that probably won't happen, which is fine. Some more stuff that they're working on. Here's an S scale, SN3. Oh man, it's definitely one of those. It's definitely a foundry. There we go. That's the term I'm looking for. And there's a S scale boxcar right here. Yeah, somebody did the Tweetsie in S scale, and this used to be part of a layout. This wasn't just like some module that somebody made. It's really cool. And lights would turn on too. Here's some of those hoppers that the ore trains would have on Tweetsie. Really cool stuff. It looks like those are hand-thrown turnouts as well. Pretty cool building. And over behind here, you can see where they would offload some of the coal and stuff. And there's like a S-scale Southern hopper car over there. Really cool with the scenery as well. Very beautiful. Here's some photos of what it looks like, I think, at the museum at the other location, before they torn that building down. And as we leave, they'll be leaving Johnson City. This is where they're going to have, back over there is going to be where Elizabethton's going to be. Some of the other stuff is going to be over there. Over here we got like, it looks like they're working on doing some landscaping for the railroad to go around and whatnot, and to traverse, going up a grade and probably going down a grade again. And right here is the Tweetsie map. It's kind of hard to see, but it starts all the way from that top left corner, snakes up to Elizabethton, and then goes all the way down and to the right into the mountains to Cranberry, which is right around the center. Let's see if I can zoom in. I don't think it will focus though. Yeah, unfortunately. But you'll have to definitely, if you ever come to Johnson City, Tennessee, or come into northeastern Tennessee, you definitely should see this place for yourself. It's going to be one of those railroads that you're going to have to see this layout in person. It's going to be incredible when it's done. And then it goes down and it goes all the way up to the top right to Boone, North Carolina. So it was more later on in the railroad's career to go to Boone for lumber and stuff, for the lumber camps. And there's another railroad that's the Virginian and Southwestern narrow gauge logging railroad that would meet up at the Tweetsie or to the terminal. It's a pretty cool railroad. I'd like to see that get modeled in ON30. Never really seen anybody model that. Here's some more buildings that they're working on. And we're going towards Elizabethton, where here's some like photos and stuff that they're working on and looking at. And some depots and stuff. They're going to probably do a siding where train can pull in and drop stuff off. Passengers, all sorts of goods, who knows. So that's where that will be. Back there, I think, will be one of the other foundries that will be around in this area. This place used to have an iron mine, and the iron mine would be all the way over there in Cranberry, North Carolina. And what's interesting is that this region had one of the richest or the purest ore around on the East Coast. It was even better than the stuff they were hauling for the Pensy to Pittsburgh. So I think it was around 70% purity of the ore being iron inside the ore, while the others were like around 30%. So unfortunately, the iron mines started shutting down after the Great Depression, or during the Great Depression, because all the money was drying up and leaving. So this Johnson City was going to be the next Pittsburgh if that didn't happen. But it is what it is. Here's some of the, as we're leaving Elizabethton with this weird double Y. That's really interesting. As you can see, there's dual gauge track and dual gauge switches, which is really, really cool. Really, really cool stuff right here. There's going to be a lot of dual gauging. So I don't know how much dual gauge trains are going to be going up and down this line, but it probably won't be that much. But there's dual gauge, even going all the way over here where this coaling tower is, so the train's going to have to back up. So probably, I don't know, because I heard the best runners on this layout are the 6 10-wheelers that are Tweetsy specific prototypes. We have 6 brass engines of the Tweetsy 10-wheelers, and they're actually the best runners, but I don't know if they could back up a train up this hill. So we'll probably have to use HO steam engines, Southern steam engines most likely, to get coal up in the tower so that they can refuel. Steam engines going back up the grade. And this train will eventually go about a foot higher up through once it makes the grade. It's going to go about a foot higher all the way through the mountain to go to Cranberry. So there's some locations that are based off of photos where they have these bridges, which is really, really cool. This is going to be dual gauge. Now in this photo right here for this bridge, which is based off a real bridge, it's interesting because it doesn't show to be dual gauge. It's still the narrow gauge, but I guess it was dual gauged at some point. This bridge right here, which is pretty cool. It's really an unorthodox looking bridge for sure. And here's some of the areas they're working on right over here. This tunnel right here. Going around here, they're still working on getting all that rock work done and see on landscape. Here's another corner they're still working on. They're gonna have to put plaster on. Still dual gauge over here. Got some scenes right here. I mean, when this thing's gonna be done, it's gonna be very beautiful. This will be a fun railroad to operate. I'm actually looking forward to operating on this railroad. Operate with other people. That would be pretty fun. And there's not a lot of people who play operations on the Tweetsy, which is interesting. I almost want to buy an narrow gauge engine or something and help haul up the mountain, but I heard the Blackstones don't really operate well in this layout, which is understandable because the curves are not really meant for some of those engines, I guess. I heard that the consolidations do okay, but can't really run a lot of those Blackstone engines. It's one of those rare occasions where the brass engines do well. I want to say rare, but it's one of those occasions where the brass engines do better. There's another tunnel right here. How it goes behind that gorge. That slash in the rock right there. That's pretty cool. Again, I really think this is going to be a fun layout because there's only one track and there's a number of sidings and there's only a few. So you're going to have to wait a while and talk to the other train that's coming up the mountain while you're going down. And it is really cool. As we're going around here, this is Parity Point, and we're just going up. And they're still sealing all the modules together. and it's just going up the grade along this mountainside. Going up way behind here, nice little river that's coming over here, like a river just snaking through there. That's pretty cool. Got a little bridge back there. We left the dual gauge a while back too. It's just, here's another bridge right here with a little river. The railroad pretty much follows the river through the mountains. And there's a siding for a train to back up into or to pull in, so that the train coming down the mountain or train coming up the mountain can pass by. It's really interesting. I asked of a member here, like, hey, who has priority? Is it from Cranberry coming down the mountain having a priority, or is it going up the mountain priority to Cranberry? And they said they're not really sure. Here we go. Here's some narrow gauge HO scale boxcar and ore car. Hopefully that load gets replaced. It's not the best looking load right here, but yeah, that is really, really cool stuff. Trains are usually around 6 to 8 cars long, which is understandable. It's a narrow gauge. You're not going to be hauling that much heavy stuff up the mountain. But yeah, the Tweedsy was a big railroad. It was not tiny in the slightest. You know, given like for a narrow gauge, I think that's a lot of track going through everywhere. This is based off a real part. You look at all that erosion, and it's really cool with the erosion right there. Absolutely awesome. This is tunnel number 5. Here we go. We're going to go around. Here's some people who are sponsored. It's really cool with the scenery, and then we're coming out of the tunnel right here. I think this is Blevins Bridge, which is made in Philadelphia, I believe, this bridge, the iron made for it. Really, really cool. There's another river. And here's a siding right here. This is where the passing trains can pass each other. And there's another siding nearby on the other side. So this is one of the places in the halfway point. This is White Rock to Blevins Station. So this is a little town. Fun fact about that family right there. One of the little girls actually came to see the museum and was shocked how they, modeled her in a photo and the house she lived in. I don't know if that lady's still alive, but when she said I wasn't wearing red that day, she was wearing blue or something like that. So that was pretty fun story right there. And I guess that's where their house would have been, or their barn. And yeah, really, really cool stuff along the way on the railroad. We're going up behind this hill, going around with another siding for a train to just. It's like a one-way in siding. So this is White Rock siding and water tank. So there'll be a water tank around here for refueling. Here's some of the photos of the Tweedsy going through this area that they're trying to recreate with the modeling. There's a mountain in the background, by the way. It's just how the photo came out. Here's some of the area they're going to work right here with this town. We're going to Roan Mountain. And this is Roan Mountain Inn, where this is pretty much like a Roan right here in the town. Pretty cool with the siding. And there's going to be a depot in the siding. So a passenger train can come through, or passenger train with some boxcars coming up through this area. There's another bridge. Ray Bridge. Pretty cool. That's a nice looking bridge with all those cables holding the trusses together. It's pretty cool. There's another little bridge right here going over a river. And then here's another town right here. I don't know what, it looks like they're doing mock-up buildings right here. And then over here they're going to have another siding for trains to come through. So it'll definitely take time. There's a little wooden bridge. It's pretty cool. And then look at this. Just going around with that huge erosion. Slide right there. And then this area is unfinished yet. There's going to be another pull-in siding where you just go in or back in. Right there, still working on. There's a little road they're going to put right here. Here's another little town before you make it to Cranberry. Here's another very small siding right here. The Ford dealership right there. A really small Ford dealership. There's a little mirror in the back. Here we go right here. We got some consolidations right here, which is really cool. I'm not sure if they're brass or if they are. Not sure if they're brass or if they are Blackstone, but they look really good. But somebody should change those. I'm guessing those for some of these private models. But yeah, they look really nice. And I'd love to see more Tweetsy engines and stuff coming hopefully soon. And some more stuff they're working on. They're probably just testing the track. Here's some of the rock molds and stuff they're going to do for this huge area right here. There's going to be a barn and a house on this valley. A little road that goes to it. Not sure, there might be a road tunnel or something like that. And here's the reverse Y right here. There's pretty much one Y where trains can reverse or turn around. Some tracks, and there's a siding as well. Pretty cool. And here's the thing where they can work on the layout. Goes all the way back here, and welcome to the Cranberry Mine, guys. This is it. This is a big yard. It's not small. Here's a dead end right here. Now I heard from one of the members there's supposed to be a turntable in Cranberry, which would be cool. It would be cool to have a HON3 turntable. But yeah, that's all the buildings are here. Here's a little place where they played tennis, which is pretty cool. There's a little river, man-made river going through right here. That's where the mining complex would be. A lot of freight cars and switching would be done in this area. It's going to be really cool. A lot of the 10-wheelers did the switching themselves. There was not a lot of engines that were switcher specific or really small engines. A lot of them were done by the locomotives themselves. The 10-wheelers would do everything pretty much on this railroad. Here's I guess the switching diagram. So you would type in those numbers to throw the switches that are on there. That's pretty cool with sidings and areas to. There's supposed to be an engine house here too. That's gonna be cool. Yeah, this will be a fun layout to operate, and while the guests are here and people get to see the Tweetsy in operation, it's gonna be so cool. Here's some other stuff that there's supposed to be. It's supposed to be covered back there, so the train coming back would be covered, and there would be a tunnel back over here where a train would go around the top all the way around back. So this is the best way you can turn around a train, is just to go through the main line and just loop back around, go through that Y back there. Please no food and drinks inside. And this is pretty much the end. This is where you turn around, go all the way back down the mountain to go to Johnson City. Absolutely wonderful layout. And here's some more stuff that people brought in to display. You got a Mark's train set. I'm not sure what gauge it is. It's a unique track. Some more Mark stuff. Some more other old toys. So we're going to try and speed it up a little bit. Here's the HL layout for the MEMRR Railroad. I kind of forgot what the name was supposed to be, but here's this huge 20-something stall roundhouse. Now mine's gonna be 30, and it's gonna be big. I'm not gonna do the extension on mine. I already tested how big the Q2 and T1 would fit, and they would fit inside this roundhouse. Not sure about the S1. The S1 might have to just stick out of the doors or be in a siding somewhere when it's not in use, or at the machine shop if it can fit in there. But yeah, this is going to be like a phase 3 or something like that kind of build. And as you can see over here, they have some plans of what they were going to do. Pretty cool. As you can see, phase 1 is the center section. And we're supposed to open on October 3rd, so hopefully we're pretty much close to that by the end of this month of August, maybe September. We only got like less than 2 months away now. So it's really going to be the center section. There's going to be a temporary track back there, but there's 2 mains. There's the inner main that just does an oval, just does a weird oval, and then the outer main goes all the way back to the staging yard back there, and there's a whole wall of trains over there. There's some more buildings. There's going to be a grade, as you can see back there. That's not a shelf, that's a grade. It's going to go up around the back of the E, on this backbone of the E, and go all the way down over there and curve to the bottom leg, which is phase 2. And this temporary track is the worst. It's not perfect, but it could be better in my opinion. I tried testing some of my bigger engines on there and they didn't like it. My Athlon Challenger liked it and did it fine, but the Q2s did not like it. The T1s were okay, but you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do? This branch line up here, this is going to be a branch line where a lot of consolidations and Mikados will be coming up and down the mountain bringing coal trains and lumber, maybe even pulpwood too. Looks like they're working on putting some patch stuff in. It's a really sharp curve. Someone wanted to bring an A-class Norfolk and Western 2664 up here. Somehow the A-class can go up here, but a Y6B can't, which is interesting to say the least, but in my opinion, I say you only need to bring up consolidations or small 4-axle diesels up here. You don't need to bring 6-axles. I mean, you can bring Trainmasters up here. We tested Trainmasters up here. Here's some of the scenery over here. It's getting there. It's getting there. Here's one of the towns. Where's the siding? Pretty much a freight depot and all that stuff with the water tower. Beautiful water tower right there. Really cool. And somebody's doing the paintwork back here. And here's pretty much the end of the middle E. And as you can see, it goes back around over by the computer, curves back around into this nice yard over here, the staging yard. Loops back around over there around that column. And it's a 1-track operation to go back in and out of that staging yard. Really cool stuff. Here's another design somebody's working on, making trees right here. It's going to be really weird looking E. This is phase 2. Phase 2 is going to have a lot of work. These are old modules from the previous museum over at over what used to be the infirmary building at the college over here. Here's one of the modules right here. Look at that excellent trestle. I don't know how. I've seen some people try to fly over that bridge, but they were thinking about doing a double track with that bridge, but I don't know if they're going to really do that. Probably not. Now here's where a coal mine is. It's going to be a huge coal mine. We're talking about operations and how we can make it really cool. You can have a siding right over here where a train can pass another with empty cars, and then fully loaded cars can leave. Pretty cool. And then here's their double track over there. So, yep, comes back around and it's going to go back that way. And it's going to go up a grade as well. Here's the hallway right here. Temporary stuff. I don't know what they're going to put right here. It's still a work area, so it'll be really interesting. Coming back here, there'll be 2 levels. I don't know what else they're going to have here. And they could have some small switching operations at the lower on the base. There you go. We got the temporary track. Yeah, some of the stuff's kind of kinked. Or it's got a nice bend at the rail joiners. But it's temporary track. Don't have to worry about it. You have to worry about it once they upgrade it later. And I'll probably give some pointers later on. Right now, the system's not up because apparently somebody was not supposed to paint this. They were trying to seal up and round off like the stuff right here and use some clay to seal up some sort of molding clay to seal up some of the areas. And here we go. Here's a turnaround. Pretty cool right here. So we turn on and might paint it, do stuff like that. It goes back there. Over in this room, what's in here is pretty much for little kids to play. So they call it the little engineer's room and stuff like that. There's like a little caboose playhouse. There's a G-scale train that circles above on a suspended railroad track. Goes all the way around. It's got a Tweetsy narrow gauge train up there. And the lights are off. There's some Thomas Wood stuff and whatnot for kids to play with. And this is our workshop back here where we have stuff to work on models. Right now it's not really in the state where you can just work on model trains and stuff like that. And there's some of the bathrooms, and there's a little switching game with S-scale. It's pretty cool. So, more stuff that we're working on. And yeah, this is supposed to be a place where we're going to eventually turn into a place where we can work on buildings. As I guess over there they're starting to work on buildings. You can test model trains, upgrade model trains, put electronics and scenery and stuff, where we store all that stuff. So when the museum opens, you get to actually watch people, members here, work on their trains. So that's pretty cool in my opinion. And you can ask questions on what you're doing, on what they're doing, and all that stuff, how they're doing it, yada yada yada. Oh, they need to replace some of the lamps here. And there's some of the offices for the board of directors, all that stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is a pretty nice museum. There is plans in the future, if possible, that they could expand the place and get more square footage. And like I mentioned earlier, I'd like to see a ON30 like narrow gauge of that western and of that Virginian and southwestern logging railroad. That would be pretty cool to see in a ON30, a new scale like O scale, but narrow gauge, another narrow gauge project. Anywho, guys, that's pretty much this initial tour. I was going to do a video at some point about this layout and this museum as a whole, but I wanted to figure out when it would be a better time to do it rather than getting close or too early. I didn't want it to be around where there's too many people working, and I don't want anybody to feel like they're being recorded. So yeah, this is Pensy Joe signing out again. I'll see you guys down the line and sometime in October where we see this place open up, and I'll do another video where we see stuff operating and trains running and all sorts of other fun stuff. People enjoying their time, and this place looks closer to being done. It's going to take a lot of time. As you can see, that layout over there where Tweetsy is not going to be done for a long time. It'll be operable. From what I heard, they're going to plan to try and get it operable by the time it opens, so there will be operations for that railroad when that time does come. Alrighty, Pensy Joe signing out again. I'll see you guys down the line again. Bye now.
To the hill and by the shore, hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome hobo squall, riding through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball. Now here's to Daddy Claxton, may his name forever stand, and may he be remembered in the courts throughout the land. When his earthly race is over, let the curtains round him fall. We'll carry him home to victory on the Wabash Cannonball. Oh, listen to the jingle, the rumble and the roar, as she glides along the woodland to the hill and by the shore. Hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome hobo squall, riding through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball.